Picture this. It's 5:47 in the evening, and you're sitting in bumper-to-bumper traffic. Your hands are gripping the steering wheel just a little tighter than they should be. Your shoulders are tense. Your jaw is clenched. And your mind? Your mind is already racing ahead to tomorrow. That presentation you still haven't finished, the stack of emails waiting in your inbox, the endless to-do list that somehow keeps growing instead of shrinking. But while you're worrying about all of that, something far more critical is happening inside your body right now. Something you can't see or feel, but it's making a decision that will determine exactly how you look and feel when you wake up tomorrow morning. Deep inside your abdomen, your fat cells are communicating with each other at this very moment. They're receiving signals from your hormones, your nervous system, and your internal body clock. And they're making a choice about tonight. Will they release the stored energy they've been holding on to, or will they multiply and expand even more? In the next 90 minutes, you're going to make 3 simple choices that seem completely innocent. These choices will decide whether you wake up tomorrow feeling lighter and more energized, or whether you wake up carrying more dangerous belly fat than you did this morning. Here's the truth that's going to sound absolutely insane until you understand the science behind it. Your body doesn't actually store fat during the day when you're active and eating. It stores fat at night while you're sleeping. And the trigger for this nighttime fat storage isn't your dinner itself. It's not even about the calories on your plate. It's about what happens in the 2 hours after you finish eating.
Most people obsess over their morning routines like it's some kind of religion. They wake up at 5 in the morning, they hit the gym before sunrise, they drink their protein shakes and plan their breakfasts like it's a science experiment. And sure, that stuff matters. It absolutely does. But it's only half the story. The other half, the half that actually determines whether your body burns belly fat or locks it away permanently, happens between 6 in the evening and midnight. This is the window that nobody talks about because it doesn't fit into those motivational posts about waking up early and crushing your goals. Let me tell you something that's going to contradict everything the fitness gurus have been shouting at you. You can eat perfectly clean food from sunrise to sunset. You can track every single calorie and macro like your life depends on it. You can work out every morning and do everything right according to all the diet advice flooding the internet. And you can still wake up carrying more body fat than yesterday because of one simple evening pattern you don't even recognize as a problem. This isn't about willpower. This isn't about eating less or trying harder. This is about something called chronobiology, which is the science of how your body's biological processes are connected to time itself. Your body is still running on the same operating system that was programmed over 200,000 years of human evolution. For almost all of human history, people ate during daylight hours and fasted through the night. Your metabolism, your hormone production, your digestive system, every single process in your body is still programmed for this natural pattern. But now you're eating dinner at 8 or 9 at night under bright artificial lights, scrolling through your phone, your mind spinning with work stress. Your body experiences this contradiction and has no idea how to handle it. So it does the only thing it can do to protect you. It stores everything you eat as fat and goes into emergency survival mode. What I'm about to show you are 5 biological signals that determine whether your body burns fat while you sleep or stores it. These aren't tricks or hacks. These are real physiological processes happening in your body right now. Your liver has an internal clock that controls how it processes every nutrient based on what time of day it is. Between 6 in the morning and 6 in the evening, your liver is in full processing mode. The enzymes that break down food are working at maximum capacity. Your insulin sensitivity is at its peak.
But after 7 in the evening, your liver begins to shut down for the night. Enzyme production drops by 40%, your insulin sensitivity drops dramatically. What this means is that the exact same meal will create completely different results in your body depending on whether you eat it at 6 in the evening or 9 at night. There was a study at the Salk Institute in 2019 that tracked 2 groups eating the exact same calories. The first group ate between 8 in the morning and 6 in the evening. The second group ate between noon and 10 at night. After 12 weeks, the first group lost an average of 8.6 pounds of visceral fat. The second group lost nothing. Some people actually gained weight. Same food, same amount, different timing, completely opposite results. The solution is simpler than you think. Your last bite of food needs to happen no later than 7 in the evening. This creates at least a 12-hour overnight fast before breakfast. During this fasting window, at hour 8, your insulin levels drop back to normal. At hour 10, growth hormone starts to rise. At hour 12, your body shifts into fat-burning mode, using stored fat for fuel instead of waiting for more food. You're literally reprogramming your metabolism while you sleep. Here's something most doctors never explain. Your insulin sensitivity follows a pattern throughout the day. You are most insulin sensitive in the morning and least insulin sensitive at night.
The same 50 grams of carbohydrates will cause a 40% higher insulin spike if you eat them at 8 in the evening compared to 8 in the morning. Insulin is the master fat storage hormone in your body. When insulin is high, an enzyme that breaks down stored fat gets turned off. Without it working, your fat cells are locked shut. You could be in a calorie deficit and genuinely hungry, but your body will still refuse to access stored fat. But there's something even worse that happens when you eat carbohydrates in the evening. They block growth hormone release during sleep. Growth hormone is your body's most powerful fat-burning hormone. It peaks during deep sleep in the first 90 minutes after you fall asleep. But growth hormone and insulin work in opposite ways. When one is up, the other goes down. If you eat carbohydrates at night, insulin stays elevated for 3 to 4 hours. This blocks your first wave of growth hormone, and you miss your most powerful fat-burning window. After 4 in the afternoon, limit carbohydrates to vegetables only. No grains, no fruit, no starchy vegetables. Your evening meal should be built around high-quality protein and non-starchy vegetables. Think wild-caught salmon with asparagus and a side salad, or grass-fed beef with sautéed spinach and roasted Brussels sprouts. You're giving your body all the nutrients it needs without triggering the insulin response that locks your fat cells.
Most people finish dinner and immediately go into digital stress mode. They collapse on the couch, open their laptop, check work emails, watch the news, scroll through social media. Their meal is sitting in their stomach trying to be digested, but their nervous system is in fight or flight mode. This creates a biological disaster that most people never connect to their inability to lose body fat. Digestion is a relaxed process. It requires your vagus nerve to activate rest and digest mode. Blood flow needs to go to your digestive organs. Your stress hormone cortisol needs to drop. But when you're stressed, blood flow gets redirected away from digestion toward your muscles and brain. Your gut slows down dramatically. Food sits in your stomach fermenting instead of moving through efficiently. This causes 3 major problems. First, incomplete digestion leads to waste products that leak into your bloodstream and trigger inflammation. Second, elevated cortisol blocks insulin from working properly, causing blood sugar crashes and those intense late-night cravings. Third, poor digestion means you wake up bloated with inflammatory chemicals circulating through your system. All of this signals to your body that you're in danger. Store fat, don't burn it.
The Japanese have a practice that Western culture has almost completely abandoned. They walk after every meal. Within 5 minutes of finishing dinner, take a walk outside for 15 to 20 minutes at a comfortable pace. No music, no podcast, no phone. Just walking and breathing. This simple practice activates your relaxed nervous system, helps your muscles pull sugar from your blood without needing insulin, stimulates your intestines, and lowers stress hormones. When you return home after this walk, you're in a completely different state. Digestion is working properly, stress hormones are down, fat burning is ready to start. This next signal is the one most people ignore, and it's quietly destroying their metabolism. Your body produces melatonin. Everyone knows melatonin helps you fall asleep, but almost nobody knows that melatonin receptors are in your pancreas, in the exact cells that produce insulin. When melatonin rises at night, it tells your pancreas to shut down insulin production because you're entering the fasting state. But here's the problem. Melatonin production is controlled by light exposure to your eyes. Blue light wavelengths suppress melatonin production by up to 90%. Your LED lights, your TV, your phone screen, your laptop, they're all blasting blue light into your eyes until midnight or later. Your brain thinks it's afternoon. Your pancreas keeps producing insulin. Your growth hormone never rises. Your body never enters repair mode. A study from Northwestern University showed that just 3 hours of evening blue light exposure decreased insulin sensitivity by 20% the next morning from one single night. Do this every night for a year, and you're looking at pre-diabetic insulin resistance.
After sunset, your home needs to become a dark, warm environment that matches your natural biology. After 6:30 in the evening, turn off overhead lights and use only table lamps with warm bulbs. At 7, put your phone in another room. If you must use it, turn on night mode and wear blue light blocking glasses. At 8, no television. Read a physical book under warm light or have a face-to-face conversation. At 9, turn off all lights except dim amber nightlights. You're allowing your melatonin to rise naturally for 3 to 4 hours before you fall asleep. This makes your body more sensitive to insulin overnight. When you wake up tomorrow morning, your fasting insulin will be lower, your fasting blood sugar will be lower, and your body will be in fat-burning mode before you even eat breakfast. Your body temperature follows a daily rhythm just like your hormones. It peaks around 5 in the afternoon and reaches its lowest point around 3 in the morning. This temperature drop is essential for deep sleep, growth hormone release, and metabolic repair. The size of this temperature drop directly affects how much fat you burn overnight. Your body has 2 types of fat tissue. White fat is what you want to lose. Brown fat is active fat that burns white fat to generate heat. When your environment is too warm, brown fat stays dormant. But when you sleep in a cool environment between 60 and 67 degrees, your body has to work to maintain its core temperature. Your brown fat activates and literally burns white fat to keep you warm.
A study from the National Institutes of Health showed that sleeping at 66 degrees for 1 month increased brown fat activity by 40% and metabolic rate by 10%. Participants burned an extra 100 to 120 calories per night while sleeping. At 9 in the evening, set your thermostat to 65 degrees. Sleep with minimal covering. Keep your room dark and cold. If you can't control the temperature, use a fan pointed at your upper body. You should feel slightly cool when you first get into bed, not shivering, but not warm either. Within 20 minutes, your body adapts and you'll sleep deeper than you have in years. When you wake up, you'll notice something different immediately. Your face looks leaner, your stomach is flatter. That's actual fat being burned while you slept. Here's what this looks like starting tonight. At 5:30 in the evening, decompress during your drive home with silence. At 6, start preparing dinner focused on protein and vegetables. At 6:45, finish eating with your last bite by 7 at the latest. At 6:50, immediately take a 20-minute walk with no distractions. At 7:15, return home, dim the lights, and put your phone away. At 7:30, read a book, stretch, talk with your family without any screens. At 9, take a warm shower, set your bedroom to 65 degrees, and turn the lights off. At 9:30, you're in bed and asleep by 10. That's it. No supplements, no expensive equipment, no gym membership required. Just strategic timing and biological alignment with how your body was designed to function.
What happens when you follow this protocol for 30 consecutive days? Your fasting insulin drops significantly, your insulin sensitivity increases, your growth hormone production normalizes, your belly fat becomes accessible fuel instead of toxic storage that your body desperately protects. You wake up with visible definition in your midsection for the first time in years, not because you did more exercise or restrictive dieting, but because you finally stopped interrupting the fat-burning process that was trying to happen every single night. This isn't about restriction or suffering, it's about rhythm and timing. Your body wants to burn fat. It's designed to burn fat. It's trying to do this every night while you sleep. You've just been interrupting the process with late eating, bright lights, stress, and warm sleeping environments. The moment you stop interrupting these natural processes, your biology takes over and does what it's supposed to do. Fat loss becomes automatic, not because you're trying harder or suffering more, but because you're finally working with your design instead of fighting against it. Your belly fat isn't stubborn and your metabolism isn't broken. You're just operating on the wrong schedule, out of sync with your natural biology. Starting tonight, you have the power to change that completely. The mechanisms are already inside you, waiting to be activated through timing instead of effort.